And we are live with another episode of the Keeg Talks. Today, the Keeg Talks, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 1, Column 2, Paragraph 3. I'm your host, Mitch Perera. If you can see us live right now, you are watching us on twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show as well. Or you're listening to the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from, whether that be Google Play or Apple Podcasts or SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. I think that's pretty much all.
It really is an ongoing list, right? You're just like, wait, did I? And the one you miss is always the one like, look, we were going to give you a $20,000 a month contract with us, but you didn't remember us.
You didn't. Yeah, it's like, did I get Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio? That's everything. Stitcher is also ending, I think, in like a month. So I'm going to take that off of rotation, and I just put that on rotation. So it is what it is. If you're watching us live, you can see who our guests are to talk about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. But if you're listening to the podcast, you don't know who is on this episode, and you don't know who that voice was. So let me introduce that voice first. We got Adam, a.k.a. The Megs. Megs?
The official Megs.
The official
Megs.
Are there unofficial Megs?
There are a lot of bitches out here. No.
Is that a call out to all the other Megs out there? They're all bitches.
Listen, there's only two Megs out here. The Stallion and me. Make that clear.
Oh no. Are you going to have to...
Shark wishes they came to me.
I'm afraid Megan the Stallion is going to come at you and be like,
I said there's two. I said there's a Stallion and me. That's it.
Yeah, there's a Stallion. You're the official one.
Yeah.
You better copyright that.
Yeah, right.
Uh-oh. I sense trouble brewing. We'll see how that goes. The Keeg does not represent either party. We are staying neutral if anything does pop up. But who was that other voice? We got JT himself, JT Buni. Is it Buni?
Yes, you got it correct.
Yes. And you have a new username, Entertain Me and You.
Yes, I changed it because I wanted to expand what I talked about on my TikToks.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it pigeonholed me.
And I mean, it was also hard to spell because Themyscira is a hard word.
Yes.
But I mean, I loved your content back then. I love your content now. And
Thank you.
The official Megs. I love your official content, not so much your unofficial ones.
My official ones are spicy. Okay, just make it very clear. And actually, funny. Not a lot of people know this. Megs actually is an acronym and stands for something.
Oh.
Music, entertainment, gaming, and sports.
I didn't.
Okay. Oh wow!
I didn't know.
Literally the things that I'm into. So.
Okay. If it falls outside of that, like, do you not like it? You don't talk about it?
Well, I'll talk about it. I have no problem having conversations with anything for the most part. Like, there's no P in there for politics because that's a messy subject. But, if I got to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But
yeah,
I try not to.
MPEG. That's a file type, right?
Wait, what did you say you were going to do to me?
No, not MPEG. MPEG is totally different.
I heard PEG, and I was just like, wait, when? I heard PEG, and I was like, wait, what are we doing? Wow, this went, right? Jay, you heard me, right? You heard it, correct?
You.
Hey.
I heard you.
Damn.
It starts off with MPEG, and it ends up with MPREG. And that is not what this show is about, so we're going to move on. Anybody out there who's watching us, like, comment, subscribe, follow, do your thing. Let us know you're out there, whether you're listening to the podcast or watching the live stream. You're all appreciated. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 came out. That is a long title. It's very hard to write. You get done with the character count if you have a character count halfway through, I
mean, don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Or Dr. Strangelove and the subtitle. Yes. So I get that. When it comes to Mission Impossible, everybody has a different experience with it. Because some people, it's just not their thing. And I get that, Action movie franchises that have been around for years upon years. Some people are just like, they're tired of it. There's been a lot of action movie franchises. How'd you guys get into Mission Impossible? I think that's the first question.
I stumbled upon it when I was a kid watching it on TV. So I watched the original shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I always found it fun just seeing them rip off their masks. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a plastic mask. But I've always been into the cloak and dagger, spy versus spy kind of situations.
Was it as like cheesy back then when they were like doing the mask play? I've never seen the show.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was cheesy because like watching it was a really cool concept growing up, and I was like, oh my God, this is really cool, and like just how to see how you see them escape, how they get into these situations, how they get out of situations. So it translated very well to what Tom Cruise did for the movies.
Yeah. What I'm trying to remember what decade Mission Impossible was. Is it around the same time as like Get Smart and all that?
Yeah, 66. Yes. So yeah.
Okay. And then Get Smart is a parody of Mission Impossible spy stuff, right?
Yes. More Bond on the other side, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I never watched the show. Adam, did you watch the show?
When I was a toddler, I want to make that clear. Not a young child. Like
right, but you watched
else.
it. You watched
toddler.
It on reruns. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, VHS. Yes.
Oh.
No, I watched it. My mom used to watch it on television. I remember watching it as a kid, and I remember bits and pieces of it and things like that. And then as I got older, they would do like reruns on certain networks, so I'd watch it then.
I used to watch a lot of TV Land back in the day. TV Land Nick at Night because
yes,
it came down to what were my parents comfortable with me watching as a kid, because they were very like strict. They were like, okay, we're gonna watch the stuff that they grew up with, right? But they weren't like, I don't remember Mission Impossible ever being on the rotation, like for me. So technically, weirdly enough, I got into Mission Impossible at Mission Impossible 4, Ghost Protocol, which still to this day is my favorite Mission Impossible.
I love Ghost Protocol.
Yeah,
I love Ghost Protocol so much. Also, just the name alone. None of the Mission Impossible names have come close to Ghost Protocol. Just, it's so cool.
I mean, that was the Dubai like stuff. You know, when it got crazy. Actually, funny. Do you know? Now you've watched them all. You know when the knife is going into Tom Cruise's eye?
Yeah.
Real. His face, his eye, knife, whole nine, everything.
Yeah. Except they tied the end of the knife to an ankle point so that it would only get like a smidge away from his eye in Mission Impossible 2.
He's insane.
Well, did you see the director when they asked him what's the biggest stunt that scared you the most that he's done for this, and he goes, hasn't come out yet.
I don't know. I don't know. Can we talk about Mission Impossible without talking about Tom Cruise? We can't, right? Tom Cruise.
Well, I mean, Tom doesn't want you to either. Remember, because they want to. Amazon has the rights. They want to do a TV show, and it's like he's like, no, can't do a TV show without me, and I don't want you to do a TV show.
You think he'll ever retire? Like not from acting, but from Mission Impossible? Can Mission Impossible go on without him?
Didn't he just say that he wanted to continue on as long as Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
Do they like each other?
No. Here's the answer. Who knows?
Yeah. I wouldn't think that they would get along.
Look, Clint Eastwood was in Georgia filming at 93 the other day. So
yeah. But Clint Eastwood isn't like jumping on trains and I mean both Indiana Jones and Mission Impossible this year had train sequences. I feel like that's life, you know?
And it seemed like everyone was shooting in Rome on the Spanish Steps.
Is that what
it
is?
You got that same
Fast X.
I didn't realize that. Was it the same location?
Same stairs.
Same stairs.
Wait, who?
Fast X.
Fast X.
So
Fast X and Mission Impossible.
Dead Reckoning Part
What's
1.
this one called again?
Yeah, Dead Reckoning
Part 1. Yeah.
Literally. So, Keeg, stay with me, right?
Yeah.
Remember when the car chase happens in Mission Impossible and Palm is in the black huge SUV and she goes through the barricade over the steps and goes down it. That's the same one where the bomb hits those steps and ball goes through. Same exact rail.
I knew I recognized it. But Fast X goes all over. Like they literally throw a dart at the map, you know? And they're like, "All right, this time we're going to Portugal."
I just love how that whole thing. Look, I'm a Fast and Furious diehard.
Okay.
I just love how it went from stealing DVDs to saving the world.
I mean,
And the very first Fast and Furious isn't even a Dom movie. It is a Brian movie.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Shea Wiggum is in both. Actor Shea Wiggum.
Correct.
He is now. Is this his first Mission Impossible movie? He wasn't in a previous one, was he? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Shea Wiggum?
He's the guy. He was in Agent Carter also. He's the guy trying to track down Ethan.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yes.
And his team.
Right? No,
right?
this is the first one. But in Fast and Furious, I mean, the man stays getting his nose broke.
Yeah. All the time.
Seriously.
I like him a lot, by the way. Just talking about like side actors, supporting actors that like aren't getting enough credit. He plays his roles really well. Like, I don't know. Did you guys see Agent Carter?
Yes.
Because that's also Haley Atwell and Shea Wiggum. And then, this. JT said no?
Yeah, I said no.
Oh, well, are you ever going to watch it or no?
I don't know. It's on my list of things to watch, but I think I didn't watch it because I was burnt out from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And I needed to take a break, so I never got to seeing Agent Carter.
That's fair. Then I won't spoil it then. But there's a big thing with Shea Wiggum. So that was like, oh, cool. So Mission Impossible, you guys got started early. Did you guys watch the first one in theaters?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've watched every single one in theaters.
Oh, 100%.
Wait, Adam too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I remember, I mean, it was a cultural phenomenon. Mission Impossible. Everything, like the
I would say the second one was more. Yeah, like, so I'll give you that. Him falling from the ceiling, huge point.
That was parodied
the second
everywhere.
one, right? The second one, though, to me got bigger because, and I think JT will agree with this, the soundtrack. They had Metallica on it and Limp Bizkit, and it pushed it even further because they had it on MTV. They had it everywhere, and the songs were everywhere, and that kind of pushed it overboard.
The second
and
one was
Tom's hair
very
looked
MTV.
really, really good.
What? Oh, sorry. What would you say, JT?
And Tom's hair looked really, really good in two.
That was that was the long hair.
Yes.
So he can like go like that, and it just.
I remember watching that. I'm like, wow, I want hair that pretty.
But he wished to have hair as pretty as yours now.
There's something going on with Tom's hair, right? Is it just me?
Plugs. Anyways, what? Keep going.
Oh, is it time for plugs? You're watching the Keeg. You should follow the Keeg on social media, Instagram and TikTok at the Keeg Show. Anyway, where were we getting at? Well, I forget what I was saying. Oh, Mission Impossible 2, I feel like was really MTV. Like they had the Ben Stiller like little he did like a little sketch on it at the MTV Music Movie Awards. Like it was very like, was it John Woo? Was that the director?
I want to say yes. Hold on. I literally have them all up right now. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible 2.
John Woo. It was John Woo.
Yep.
Because of the pigeons and like the motorcycles, the pigeons flying.
It's like you always know, depending on what one little dumb thing happens in the movie, like whose it was. It's like, oh, there was a lot of sun flares. Oh, it's a Michael Bay movie. Like,
yeah. Or J.J. Abrams, who took over on number 3, right?
Oh yeah, J.J. Abrams loves those lens flares.
The lens flare, yeah. So Mission Impossible, just giving everybody a timeline. Mission Impossible 1 came out in 96. Then 4 years later came out number 2, which is rare for a franchise that like really wants to keep going. Normally it's like 3 years. If they go too fast, it's 2 years in between sequels. But 2000. Then it ended, and then 6 years later, Mission Impossible 3 came out. And then 5 years later, in 2011, Mission Impossible 4 came out. So there tends to be a pretty big gap. I'm looking at the timeline here.
Yep.
There seems to be a pretty big gap with Mission Impossibles as Tom Cruise, does his thing. How'd you guys feel about number 3, bringing it back?
I don't remember number 3.
funny you said that, right? Because I'm looking at the poster right now, and I'm like,
It's Philip Seymour Hoffman. as
which
the
one?
villain.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
That's
oh,
the big thing.
that's the train one. Remember, he gets blown off the helicopter, blown off the helicopter onto the front of the train from the outside.
I mean, there's always a train.
No,
But,
JT,
like, I
he's
don't
on
remember.
it. Remember, and he gets blasted, and he holds on to the very front of the train. That's that one.
Yes.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, though, God rest his soul. Nobody talks about him anymore.
Yeah.
Genius in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
Underrated role of his is Along Came Polly.
Yes.
Did he invent the word shart? I don't know, but
Probably.
I might have started in that movie. Just a quick show of hands. What are your guys' favorite Mission Impossible movies? Even with this one. What's your favorite?
Fallout.
Because mine is Ghost Protocol. I'll say that outright.
Mine is Fallout.
Fallout?
Because I'm biased.
I tell you what, Fallout is up there for me. Here's my answer. I really like this Dead Reckoning movie, and it, depending how the delivery is into the second one,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I need to see how this finishes, and then if it sets it up really well, I could say Dead Reckoning.
I feel the same way.
Okay.
But for now, it's Fallout.
Correct.
We will
Best
circle
story they've
back.
done.
What's up?
Best story they've done, I think.
Is Fallout?
Yes.
All the stories blur together for me, honestly.
That's
really
the
hard.
Henry Cavill mustache one. Yeah.
The hand
Yeah.
cocking.
The reload.
Yeah.
The reload.
With what was I gonna say? I mean, we'll circle around to the concept of part ones and part twos in cinema. But let's talk about Dead Reckoning Part 1 here. Out of a score of 10, what would you give this movie? Not knowing what the next movie is, but you know, we have experience to draw from. What would you rate this movie, and like a quick blurb why?
Megs, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
I give it an 8.
Okay.
Because I guess it's more personal for me. The story was fine. The pacing for me was fine. I just did not like killing off Ilsa. She is my favorite character in the franchise.
Yeah.
So I was kind of upset losing her.
It was we'll come back to that. But yeah, Ilsa's death, for anyone who doesn't know, this is a spoiler filled episode.
Pretty sure
All
they got that just now.
Yeah. No, it is.
Sorry.
No, it's not JT's fault. All our episodes here, you should be watching the movie, then coming back to it,
I was just like, oh,
I was like,
yeah.
No, it is. We are supposed to say spoilers. Otherwise, how are we going to fill the runtime of this episode? Yeah. Okay, that is fair. Megs, what do you got?
Same. I'm. See, like, I hate changing scores. Like, I don't know if you know, like, one bite, everyone knows rules. You know, the pizza. Like, the rules rule, the bite's the bite. The rating is the rating. This is how I've seen it. This is what I think about it. This is what I've rated it. But boy, if they land that landing for part 2, this movie is like a 9.5, 9.2, somewhere in there for me.
Okay.
But as
9.582.
No, yeah, sure.
How many significant figures does your review contain out of 10?
Mine just one. I think I've got it on Letterboxd. I think actually because I NDA'd, I couldn't do it. I'm right now like an 8.4, like an 8.4 out of 10 on Dead Reckoning, and I agree. My problem with the Elsa death, though, if this was remember, this was it. This was supposed to be the end. But if you get rid of her, and now you're like, oh, we're still going to continue. What? Why? So my thing is, I just think contract obligation, she left because of Silo, which is fantastic. But I think she's got other things, and that's why. And I think
She has
Haley.
Dune.
I think Haley Atwell is going to be that go-to thing. But I love Rebecca's her first name, if I remember correctly.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes, Rebecca.
Yeah, I love Rebecca Ferguson. So like,
love.
yeah. I like how she like whimsically acts is the best way I could put it, right? With like very monotoneness to it.
Yeah.
But I love that, and he had to suffer, so I get it, but I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You got an 8.4. You got an 8. I personally, for the sake of scoring, I only go 0.5s or whole numbers. I'm going to 8. I feel like it's pretty safe to say, like, yeah, my thing was an 8. Like, to me.
So we're all pretty much in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. It was good.
Yeah. To me, yeah. It as far as a part 1 and a part 2 go, I feel like it had a consistent storyline, like, and it wrapped up a good way for like a part 1. As opposed to Fast X, which isn't even a part 1, but it leads into part 11. That was an abrupt ending. This movie, it wasn't abrupt. It's the way I see this movie is like part 1 is getting the key, part 2 is getting to the sub. That's what I'm assuming. So it has a story, which is getting the key. And it wasn't like it ended like mid, like pulling the trigger and like, oh, it ends. It's like, okay, I get
Like it wasn't a cliffhanger. Like if Fast
No.
X was a cliffhanger.
Too much of it. Like, not even a good cliffhanger. It was just like, what? It could have ended anywhere. Like I still see Fast movies, right? But I never got to do a podcast episode on Fast X. I would have been exasperated by
Yeah,
talking about
right
it.
now.
I am tired of it because the stakes don't matter. Nobody gets tired. Nobody gets hurt for real. And people only die when they choose to die. That's it. That's the thing about Fast now. So, you know.
Don't disagree. Until you see a body, no one's dead. I said that when Giselle originally died. I said she didn't die.
Right. But obviously, like, even when you do see a body, they're not dead either. When they choose to bring them back, they choose to bring them back. And I'm not saying like, oh, the over like action movies and like, you know, they're doing superhuman stuff. It is what it is. That's part of the franchise. But I think that as a viewer, regardless of whether it's part of the franchise or not, when people refuse to die until they choose to give up their life, like nobody dies, that's exhausting for me as a viewer. Mission Impossible doesn't do that, which is nice, actually.
Or like, look at James Bond, same thing.
Yeah. I mean, you've never had a main character in Mission Impossible die the way that Ilsa died.
I'm trying to
think now that you said that. I'm like,
you're right.
No, yeah.
Because even Michelle Monaghan is still alive elsewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ving Rhames, I don't even remember their names anymore. Ving Rhames.
What, Luther?
Luther and
Mm-hmm.
Benny? Is Benny?
Benji.
Benji.
Benji, they're still alive. But yeah, you're right. Ilsa might be the first main character to die. And that's funny because number 1 starts off with the deaths of everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like literally the entire team.
Which is funny. Yeah. We said it.
Yeah, no, it's so it's funny because like, wouldn't it have been better if like, Jay, can you imagine like it was the old actors from the original show and he was like the new kid and all of that, like a passing of the torch type thing?
That would have been very cool.
That would have been something.
Isn't it kind of what they did because John Voight was one of the characters that was previous, but he wasn't the actor, but he was one of the characters?
I want to say yes, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't, and so people of the show didn't like that the character was bad.
Yeah. Look, everyone's got to go at some point, just not in Fast.
Right. Fast is like, can you imagine being Saint Peter in the Fast movies, like up in heaven being like, all right, get back down. It's a revolving door. All right,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good to go. You know.
There's nothing wrong with that. Give it to me all day.
I mean, I see what you. I mean, I definitely see your points for Fast X. Like nobody dies, but like, and I walked into Fast X thinking that was going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
But what really pulled it in for me, Jason Momoa,
Exactly.
Dante, best
Yep.
villain.
Dante
Ever.
is the Joker I want. Like
He was
that
good.
is
I
great.
liked him.
Dante was oh my god, he was so good.
You know, and you saw the story about why he chose like purple for like everything.
No.
And that specific purple, his mom hates that color.
Oh
And
my
it's a
god.
gag to her. It's a gag to her.
That's
Like
funny.
like a nod to mom. Look, here's the color. I'm choosing these colors to be like, mom, look, but she hates that color.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Jason Momoa did make that movie. But Fast is a different franchise than Mission Impossible, which is different than like Jason Bourne, which is different than James Bond and Get Smart. Like Mission Impossible now, the franchise really runs on Tom Cruise here. But we all gave it a pretty good score, which is great. Here's a question: who's your favorite character in this movie? This movie alone?
Hands down, Palm. When I originally saw it months ago, I wanted to tell everybody, but I couldn't. And then once the NDA went out, nobody was ready for Palm in that movie. I can't wait to see her in the next movie.
Well, if right?
No, she's alive. She had a pulse. She was there.
Had a pulse.
She had a pulse.
I agree. I think so. But
she's in it.
But will she join the team?
Yeah,
she will.
Because he saved her life and gave it. That alleyway scene is fantastic.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
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 I'm
gonna have to say Rebecca Ferguson's Ilsa will always be my favorite.
I do like her a lot. There's something captivating about her.
Yes.
Yeah. But I agree with Meg. Palm was the one new element in the movie that was like, whoa.
And I love Haley.
They let her spread her wings. They let Palm spread her wings.
Yeah, and I loved Haley, but like Palm just gave something more to me, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. I was going in expecting to say Haley Atwell. But Palm, given the screen time that she has, none of it was dull. She made the most out of everything.
And they gave her the Wally treatment. No dialogue.
Well, until the end, right?
I mean, very little, but yeah, I mean, even then it was like a couple words.
Yeah. And it's funny how different she is than Mantis.
Yes. But yet you also felt for her character, even though she said nothing. There was an emotional connection to her. You felt her feel betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
And all the emotions, like, without saying a word.
Yeah. Somebody said online that the clown makeup could have looked bad. But for some reason, it worked.
It looked fine.
Yeah. But it could have been, like, cheesy.
Yeah, they could have caked it and did a whole thing. She was just like a little bit of white.
Now picture this. Jason Momoa as your Joker and Palm as Harley Quinn.
Stop. This is about to turn into that kind of like video. I'm not just saying like stop.
I think both of them are better than those characters. So I like Harley Quinn. And I like Joker.
I love Harley Quinn.
I think Jason Momoa can play a different person. And
I think he's way more talented than people give him credit for. Like if you haven't seen C, the series that he directs and does and everything on Apple, it's fantastic.
When was this movie filmed? Because I'm trying to look it up right now.
When did it start production, you mean?
Filming began in Italy in February 2020 and then was halted, resumed later that year in 2020, and wrapped in September 2021.
Right.
And they really knew, just like Top Gun Maverick, they were like, we're just going to hold it. We're not going to put it to streaming. We're gonna put it in theaters. Why would we? It's Tom Cruise. Was that was a safe choice, right? Like, not a safe choice. That was a good choice, right?
Yeah, I think it was a good choice. I mean, for movies like Top Gun, these blockbusters, you need to see it in the big screen. Like, there's some movies that I can wait and watch on TV streaming, but like a Top Gun, you've got to not a Top Gun. I'm sorry, Mission Impossible. That's got to be seen on the big screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends how it's filmed. I mean, that's the other thing. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, I need to see it in theaters and stuff. Depends on the studio. Depends on how it's filmed. Things like Oppenheimer, for example. Like, people are now finding out IMAXs are lying to you, and they're not real IMAXs, and you've got to find out where a real IMAX is that does 70 millimeters. So like,
yeah,
it's a whole thing. But yeah, like the Mission Impossible, you had to see in theater. And to your point about the Top Gun, so obviously I saw it early through a company, and anybody could have went. It literally could have been anybody. So it wasn't like some special thing I got. But the people that saw Top Gun through that company saw it before the pandemic, and then pandemic happened, and they had an NDA. They had to be quiet for almost like 2 years.
Well, here's a question for you: is it different? Did they update it? Wait, you didn't see it before the pandemic, did you?
What, Top Gun?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
From what I know, though, no, they didn't do anything. But Mission Impossible, yes.
You saw, okay, so you've seen it twice. You saw it a long time ago?
I saw it like 7 months ago. I want to say it was.
That's wild.
I want to see. Here, let me see the calendar, because then I'll remember. Yeah, I want to say like January, February I saw it, so 7-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was different. The
what
opening
changed?
scene was different. Well, obviously, everything. It was finished. It's funny though seeing that movie, because like when you see unfinished things,
Yeah.
because I saw like Transformers and things like that, and that was not finished and stuff. So like, it's funny seeing how they give it to you and then how it's finished. But for that Tom Cruise movie, for Mission Impossible, it's all realistic things. Like, they're really on a train. So you see the two wires going across and then like harnessed to it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things Palm loved, was like, I'm not in a green screen. I'm not like in something with a wind tunnel or whatever. I'm actually on a moving train. And she's like, that I loved. So the beginning was different. And I hate how they made this one, because in that, the one I saw, what's up?
The fight scene on top of the train, that wasn't green screen?
Some of it was, some of it wasn't. Most of it was either finished or done, but like for the most part, boy, it looks real good.
Yeah.
That what I saw of it, so I can't tell you, but like from what it seemed like, yeah, the tunnel scene when they're crawling on their bellies, probably green screen, I'm guessing. But like Palm running across the top of the train really was her running across the top of a moving train.
And you saw
Okay, yeah,
with
that
the
looked
wires?
real.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
and then when they're standing on the train with the guns and all that stuff and everything, like the police and all that, all on a train, all on a real moving train. So, yeah, it's weird. The beginning was different. So, like, if you remember the end of Fallout, almost lost my ex-wife, almost lost the woman I love, almost lost all my friends. Nuclear blast almost went off because of me, and now he's gone. He's in hiding. He's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't want this. He's hiding in, oh God, I want to say it was France. I can't remember, but it's some weird alleyway. He's just going into the house and things like that. And he sees a woman being mugged by two guys. So he goes over and helps. And the woman turns to him and says, it was real hard trying to find you. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she hands him a package. And it was the mission. So like, I like the fact that he was hiding and felt the remorse that he felt for what happened from the previous movie. And that was a great end. And it was dark and all that and emotional things. But like, now this one was a shameless Grubhub plug. And it was like, hey, you made the right choice. You made the right choice joining the IMF. Bro, you just almost lost absolutely everybody, and you're okay like plugging your company now?
Wait, what's the Grubhub thing?
The bag the
delivery
guy
guy
comes
at the
in
beginning?
with says Grubhub all on the side of it.
Oh, I didn't actually notice that.
Yeah, because that didn't make any sense. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I was like, the pizza boy joined Grubhub? Or
Never.
going to IMF?
That was not the beginning. And then the other thing that was kind of different was the sand scene when he's helping Elsa. When the Raiders are coming for her and stuff like that. That was one whole scene. And then him coming to DC was a different scene. So them taking that and like chopping it up and putting it into other pieces, like he thought she was dead. They left it like that and they continued the movie and the one we saw now. And then like cut to another scene, she's alive, then walks away, and like this whole thing. They chopped that up and kind of like cap cutted it in between different parts of the movie to keep it moving.
I didn't like that editing.
I didn't either. I thought the full story was good, and then you continue. I thought it felt more natural.
Yeah.
As opposed to the bait and switch where you think she's dead and that he's attacking the office because she's dead. You don't like that part? You would rather have it that they faked to death?
Tell the full story and then move on to the next one, rather than these chopped up vignettes.
Yeah. I'd have to rewatch this one and then watch the original cut. Okay. Yeah. That sand scene, anyone have any idea on how they did it?
Oh, God,
Were they pushing real sand?
No, it's all CG. You can see it. It's all, so they're in a real sand area. It's just like orange lighted everywhere, you know, and they're just pushing CG sand through it.
They're not doing a fan with sand?
No, it's just a fan in general, and it's kind of hitting some sand, but for the most part, all of that like other stuff is just CG sand they're putting in.
Okay, interesting. Best set piece of this movie, best whatever you want to call it, however you want to chop it all up. It has to be the train falling off the edge, right? No?
I saw what it was. It's all CG. So like, yeah, it's cool, but like it was okay. It's all so because like even when they're like hanging sideways off the train, you know, they're in a actual car that's on a machine that has it like kind of sideways, and you can see like the blue screen underneath the bottom of it, basically, and they're tethered. So like, kind of takes it away from me. My favorite set scene, it's the bike. It's the bike off the hill, off the cliff.
Oh.
You watch it in full time. He really does it, and you're sitting there waiting to see a green screen, and it's really another guy in a squirrel suit next to him filming it.
That's wild.
That is wild.
I knew it was real because they kept hyping it up that this was going to be real.
Yeah.
But
I think no, go on.
No. I didn't have. It was more of a but ... Okay, all right.
It's funny. We all have different ones. For me, it was the Spanish Steps.
With the small car.
With a small car.
Yeah.
The Fiat.
Yeah. I thought that was just a fun scene to watch.
So funny thing about that, JT, the BMW they're in when Haley and him are handcuffed and driving.
Yeah.
So think of the car, normal two front seats, the bench in the back, right?
Yeah.
And then the trunk's there, like back window trunk. There's no actual window there, and there's no trunk. There is a bar cage sitting out of it, and there's a guy sitting in. So like if the two front seats are here and the seats are here, I'm sitting in the cage. So I'm sitting in a cage, and I've got a stick shift, I've got pedals, and I've got a steering wheel. And there's a stunt driver sitting out of the car. I can see over the actual top of the car, and he's drifting it and driving it, but you'll never know that happened.
The driver's in the back.
Driver's like literally hanging off the back of the actual car in a roll cage, basically, that they built onto the BMW. And he's sitting there just when the doors are off and stuff, because it's actually them in the car. That's not CG. That's not the CG is the stunt driver that's driving it. So you can still see it's them. There's no like animatronic faces or AI stuff and things like that. Yeah. They're really in the car, and homeboy's drifting it basically all the way in the back seat in a cage, but they just CG him out.
That's wild.
Incredible.
Craziest thing ever saw.
That reminds me of when they did Speed.
Yes.
And the actual bus going off the ramp was an actual bus. But the problem is the weight of a normal bus, they had to redistribute the weight and then put the driver in the middle of the bus. So they had to create a new front section so that the driver is in the middle instead of on one side, and then make it actually go off the ramp. It's crazy what movies do to make that work in that respect.
Movie magic.
Tom Cruise goes the extra mile though. Like I gotta give him respect. There's no disrespect here when it comes to Tom Cruise and making his movies, you know?
Well, apparently he's in talks again with NASA. He's trying to film a movie in space.
What?
Like it's already been done. There's somebody else has done it. But like he wants to do like stunts and things and like in space. And they're like, what do you want to do? Like you trying to do some interstellar stuff? Like what are you doing?
Yeah. I don't. One of these days, I do have to say, I do worry about him because
that friend that's crying for help without crying for help, right? Like,
I mean, I don't know what he's trying to outrun, but he's trying. I think it's one of those like he's trying to make his impact on the world before he goes, sort of thing. But he might go sooner than later.
He's made his impact,
right? But he might go.
He's made his impact.
I'm afraid one of these days it'll be his last because of the stunts.
But here's the funny thing: is like he's made his impact on the world long before the Mission Impossible movies. Like he made his impact on the world with Top Gun and all of his 80s movies, Outsiders, Risky Business. What else?
I mean, is there a more iconic moment than the slide, right? Like
he was iconic already.
I'm gonna be honest. If he had stopped there, he'd just be a footnote in history.
Has anyone ever walked off your show before?
I mean, so like for instance, I think Top Gun Maverick's better than Top Gun. No?
I disagree only because Top Gun Maverick's storyline is a ripoff of Star Wars.
Okay, but that's as a Star Wars fan, okay, I get that. I get that.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the first time we've ever met. This might be a bromance happening. I'm just letting you know. Like that's so accurate. This
I didn't
is
realize
so
that.
accurate.
Yeah, but fair. Well, just the trench run stuff, right? We're talking just the beginning part.
Most of it,
yeah.
How's
Master, would you like to tell him? Go for it.
Tell me how, other than the Death Star trench run.
Feel free.
Like, just think about it. Like, he's sitting there. He's done something. He has to. No, you listen to me. You do this. You listen. It's a Obi-Wan Anakin basically there, and then the trench run. Sure, like that could be any one of the speeder things. Yeah, any of it.
Okay.
Any of the main big dad figure trying to be the dad to the one. It is literally the prequels.
The prequels?
I would say it's prequels more than normal Star Wars because it's Obi-Wan. Look,
it's Obi-Wan and Anakin, not Obi-Wan and Luke. Because I see Obi-Wan and Luke. I knew your father.
First of all, this is like the Joker in Dark Knight nonsense. He was in the movie for like 18 minutes. Okay, like what did he do? Obi-Wan was in the first Star. This is like the Boba Fett too. Like,
okay.
They're in there for 3 seconds. They're okay characters to me. But this is literally the older figure trying to be your father, who's not your father, because they did something to your father, or know something about your father,
right?
Or
because
know something.
Your father died.
Yeah, like, and that's what it is.
Right.
So
I can see the New Hope stuff. I'm not seeing the prequel stuff.
By the way, I'm sorry. I'm still going over the Tom Cruise nonsense that you said. Days of Thunder, Rain Man, Cocktails, Color of Money,
Rain Man,
Top Gun. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. A Few Good Men, The Firm, Jerry freaking Maguire.
So okay, maybe I'll be honest that my repertoire, of Tom Cruise movies, I have not seen that as many, I guess, of his non-franchise stuff. I mean, I've seen Vanilla Sky. Does that count?
Mean,
but
a Few Good Men alone. You can't handle the truth.
But is that him or is that Sorkin's writing?
Look, people can write very good things. but the artist makes you see it.
I mean, Jack Nicholson was in that movie too. So
yeah,
like who had the best performance in that movie? I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I know Sorkin, I know Nicholson, I know Cruise.
Probably Jack, to be honest. But like Tom was good in it. So like The Firm's a movie, all him. Let's see what else. Magnolia, great. Vanilla Sky, great. Minority Report.
Okay, Minority Report. Great. I love Minority Report.
Last Samurai.
But that's recent or modern.
Austin Powers is Gold member.
I'm saying if you stopped him before Mission Impossible, before he even did Mission Impossible 1, I'm telling you he's a footnote in history.
Okay, so I will get, hold on. So I have the list. So Mission Impossible, nothing past there. Ready?
Not even including Mission Impossible, right? Mission Impossible onward. Yeah.
The very first movie before Mission Impossible, Interview with a Vampire.
Okay, cool. Good.
The Firm, literally in order. The Firm, A Few Good Men, Far and Away, Days and Thunder, Born on the 4th of July, Rain Man, Young Guns, Color of Money, Top Gun. There, I'll stop there.
I mean, those, yeah. But when we're talking about, when we're talking about like those movies, they're standalone movies, whatnot. But would we be remembering those movies in 2023 if it wasn't for Tom Cruise constantly working, making a name for himself, him being a brand? He wasn't a brand before then. He was an actor. And I'm just saying.
I think so.
I think
performance might have been memorable, but
Tom Cruise became a brand at Top Gun. He cemented himself as a brand in Top Gun. You could not separate him from Top Gun.
I had the need.
Okay.
Like the music alone in Top Gun was immense. The cinematography in Top Gun was immense. Like everything about Top Gun was just grand and iconic.
I mean, that's 11 movies. Who had a better run back-to-back movies than that?
I mean, we'd have to think.
That's from, and I'll give you the dates. That's from 94 to Top Gun in 86.
So 86 to 94.
Yep. Go ahead and think of another actor who had literally that many hits.
Harrison Ford.
Classic movies. Harrison Ford. There was literally an argument the other day. People don't know who Harrison Ford is unless you're talking about Indiana Jones or Star Wars.
And I'm saying that if you took Mission Impossible and Top Gun out of Tom Cruise, what is he? I mean, I know he has the one-shots. I get it. But 2023 and modern times runs on, like, name recognition runs on franchises.
But no, because Tom Cruise, okay, like forget about Mission Impossible and forget about Top Gun.
Yeah.
Risky Business alone cemented him as an icon. That scene alone when he slides through is repeated. It is it's imitated in so many other places. SNL, commercials, that is Tom Cruise's thing.
I agree. But a lot of other actors have done iconic things in movies that aren't as famous, but that their one thing becomes this iconic moment, right? I know it's actually kind of funny. Cuba Gooding Jr., Show Me the Money. Right? Iconic. But Cuba Gooding Jr.
That was Jerry Maguire, right?
Yeah, I know.
He was connected to Tom Cruise in that way.
I am purposely connecting it.
But then didn't he say A Few Good Men? Wasn't that Jack that said that and it wasn't really Tom? Aren't you just making the same excuse for Cuba? Like Cuba said something in that iconic movie that is Tom's.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm purposely drawing from like Tom Cruise movies, I guess. But I'm saying the other actors also have iconic things that have stood the test of time, right?
All right. So
I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm not even
86.
I'm not dead set on arguing on this, but I like the idea that like if we take a certain moment of history out, if he had passed away at a certain point, and it sucks for all the actors who do pass away. Philip Seymour
Yeah.
Hoffman and Alan Rickman and Robin Williams. It's like, could they have also had very iconic stuff happen after that we never get to experience in this timeline? If Tom Cruise never made, let's give him Top Gun, but basically Mission Impossible 1 onwards, what would his impact have been? It would have just been a Philip Seymour Hoffman. He did the roles well. Moving on.
But here's the thing: I don't even think Mission Impossible solidifies him as
Right.
as an iconic role. Like
I think it makes him a
Impossible's
franchise guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a franchise, but like in terms of like, did it cement him as a global star? I don't think Mission Impossible would do it.
Okay. What are okay? Very
Because like you said before, the storylines merged into themselves. Like it's hard to differentiate the storylines.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to look up a list of Tom Cruise's highest grossing movies of all time.
So you did bring up Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Tom Cruise's highest grossing movies of all time are Mission Impossible and afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course.
Okay, so there's Harrison Ford's. Hold on. Where's Tom's? I just had it.
I mean, Mission Impossible is his count.
Yeah. So Top Gun came out 86. So Harrison Ford 86 had the Mosquito Coats, Frantic, Working Girl, Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade.
You're taking the same moment in time?
Is that not your...
Well, I was thinking the same time, or the same period, not the same years, but let's just say
so
8
in
years. 8 years.
So in that period though, so other than Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, let's see, that was not 89. So 90, 91, 92, he comes out with Patriot Games. And
Great
then
movie.
93, The Fugitive. And I don't think minus Star Wars, I think The Fugitive put him on he can do stuff other than Star Wars.
I mean, and other than Indiana Jones.
But I mean, see, that's two franchises. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So that's where I think like it differs between Tom and other people. Tom established himself and then started doing franchise stuff, where some of these people were doing franchise stuff and then kind of established themselves because they got a name from those franchises.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That is a good point. Franchises are a different beast because it's pretty much,
especially now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially now. Back then though, yeah. There were fewer franchises back then, but franchises did make stars, right? Even back then.
Yeah.
So okay.
I mean, like Star Wars was one of those franchises, and so was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right.
But those were pretty much the only two franchises around that time.
I mean, Jack Ryan movies. You know, if you want to consider Jack Ryan movies, Patriot Games is Jack Ryan movie. Hunt for the Red October. So Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, like back then. You know, I think those were the two Jack Ryans, and then there was Ben Affleck and everyone else. But there were other franchises. They were just fewer and far between, right?
Those were all Jack Ryan movies.
Yeah,
they're Tom Clancy things. Yeah.
The multiple movies that they did there. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. All I can say is like, I mean, he is cinema now, right?
Seriously.
Like you can't take Tom Cruise out of it right now.
Not to mention the fact that he's always pushing the boundaries of what they can do.
Yeah. But I think what tied this tangent, which is still on topic, it's not really a tangent, is that like he's trying to make his impact on the world over and over, right? He keeps setting the bar higher and higher for himself. And when is it enough?
I think he's just an action junkie.
Is he addicted to the
I
adrenaline?
Oh, absolutely,
Uh, yeah,
absolutely.
I think he is, but I also think he's like life. Like I just want to enjoy the hell out of it and push this as far as I can. It's like people who do action sports, right? Like they jump off bridges, they swim with sharks, they do all this stuff. When's when? Well, either when an accident happens and I die, or when I just naturally die of old age and I've fulfilled everything that I possibly can.
Yeah. Um. Just because we're stuck on this, what are you guys' top 5 Tom Cruise movies that's not Top Gun or Mission Impossible?
Do you
If
need
you
me to give
have,
you the list?
you don't have to give the list right now. It's something to think about. Maybe we'll come back to it.
No, for JT giving a look of like, oh my god, that's that's like asking what's your favorite Samuel L. Jackson movie. Like, there's so many.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
I'd
haven't
have to really
seen,
think about that.
I haven't seen all the '80s ones, so I can't put that in really.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get
There's
it.
a lot, yeah.
Um, his top highest grossing movies of all time. Number 10 was Mission Impossible 3. Then it was The Mummy from 2017, which is number 9. Then Last Samurai is 8. Mission Impossible, the first one, is 7. Mission Impossible 2 is 6. War of the Worlds is 5. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is 4. Ghost Protocol is 3. Fallout is 2. And Top Gun Maverick is 1. And this is not taking into account Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
I can't believe The Mummy made it to number 2.
Remember that was such a push.
Mummy is number 9. I went
number
backwards.
9. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you went backwards.
I went from
Mummy pushed. The fact that Mummy made that list as one of his top grossing, and that movie was just awful.
Well, you got to remember the push they did for that, because Universal was starting a whole new company with Universal Dark.
Yeah.
And then it went dark.
True.
Because they couldn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
It went dark.
I'm trying to. Yeah. I don't even know whether I would have to. Oh man. You guys.
I got my 5, so
like crazy. Yeah. What are your 5?
So mine are. I like Minority Report. I think it's dumb, but I love it. Yeah. I don't know why. It's just one of the weird Tom Cruise movies I love. God, now I'm trying to think like in order what I would put. And you said minus Mission and minus Top Gun.
Yeah. And it's funny that we're putting Top Gun up there because like it only has 2 movies as opposed to Mission Impossible 7, but okay. It's still like iconic Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah. Jack Reacher.
Really?
I really like Jack
Reacher.
I really like Jack.
Really?
First off, really like Jack Reacher.
Really?
And then second of all, have you seen the new Reacher? That's a show.
Oh, the show. Yeah.
With Alan Richardson?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Chef's kiss. I'm with you, JT. Chef's kiss.
Oh my God.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to just say Tropic Thunder just to be a dick, but like he's barely even in it. But then I would be like,
I was thinking, does that count? Does Tropic? I mean, I do find his performance in that amazing.
Yeah. Interview with Vampires number 3, Rain Man number 2, and Jerry Maguire number 1.
Oh my God, there's so many.
Right? It's like an Applebee's menu.
I don't know if you guys remember Collateral, but Collateral is one of his top 10. I think it's his 10th highest rated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow was so good too.
So here's the thing. I agree it's good. I don't think he's the one that makes it good. I think Emily's the one that makes it good.
Great point. Because I agree.
Wait, but is that what you're judging on? His performances in it or the movie as a whole? Which one are his best movies?
Good movie and good Tom. That's what I'm doing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But which one's the priority?
Jerry Maguire. Look, whenever you go like, what's the best movie that's not franchised and it's Tom? It's Jerry Maguire. 100% Jerry Maguire. I'm just a man standing here in front of a girl. I wasn't going to finish it.
Telling her that he loves her?
Some shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I actually haven't seen that many Tom Cruise movies that that aren't those. I gotta be honest.
Okay, I have my list.
And it skews my view. So I know that you guys are more well versed in Tom Cruise. JT, what do you got?
I have at number 5,
Uh-huh.
A Few Good Men.
Uh-huh.
Number 4, Jerry Maguire. 3, Rain Man. 4, All the Right Moves.
Mm.
And 5, The Outsiders. I mean, 1, The Outsiders.
I was waiting for you to do taps.
It was debatable. I was like, ooh, Taps was good too. Yeah, so that was my list.
Okay.
And like, not for nothing, I like Risky Business, but like, it's a good movie, but like, it's a moment that makes that movie so big.
Yeah. That's why I didn't put Risky Business in there. That's why I put All the Right Moves.
Yeah.
I have to preface this by saying that this episode has made me want to go and watch all these Tom Cruise movies that I've missed. So your faves are not going to be on this list. So these are just the other ones that I've seen.
Just the other ones.
He's like the One Direction video he was in.
Right. The Ben Stiller sketch that he was in for the MTV Movie Awards. No, my 5, they're very they're maybe not his best. Minority Report is number 1, Collateral number 2. These are just my enjoyment of it. War of the Worlds number 3, Last Samurai 4, Interview with a Vampire 5.
And all great movies too.
Yeah.
He has a really good list of movies.
He does.
What about that World of the Worlds?
It was spotty.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
The ending.
Sure.
Collateral is good though.
Yeah, Collateral's good.
Him and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
And Minority Report, I think that's Spielberg.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get talked enough about.
It's okay rated. It's exactly how it needs to be.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right. So back to this movie specifically. How'd you guys feel about the part 1, part 2 thing? There've been other, okay, so like, I don't know what I've said on this show versus pre-show, but there have been movies that are part 1 and part 2. Harry Potter, the final 2, Hunger Games. Then there are movies that should have been a part 1 and part 2 because of the way it kind of abruptly ends. Fast X being one of them. And then there's movies that were supposed to be 1 and 2, but then they changed it and made them separate things. Like Infinity War was supposed to be 1 and 2, and Across the Spider-Verse was supposed to be a part 1 and part 2. But obviously we got Endgame and we're getting Beyond the Spider-Verse. How does this work with you guys watching this movie? The idea that it's a part 1. Oh, Dune was a part 1 and part 2, but they didn't tell anyone until you get in the theater and it says Dune part 1. It wasn't advertised as a part 1.
But you knew, like, first off, that book is a brick. Second of all, the original was like a VHS, but it was like 6 VHS. It's like you knew there was multiple. So if
the
you
original
thought
movie
was
just a movie. It wasn't a part
right,
1.
but like you got like, because you only could fit so much on VHS, blah blah blah.
We'll you got the abridged version.
Yeah, like you got multiple things.
Yeah.
So like if you thought, especially now how they like to like artistically drag things out now, if you thought you weren't getting a part 1 and part 2, you're just naive.
I mean, you were going to get a series. Sure.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, look, we're all nerds. We're all content creators. We know these things. We research these things and do all that stuff. But for the normal person, they walked into a science fiction movie called Dune. They liked the trailer, whatever. It was not advertised as a part 1. And they walk in, and the opening title was Dune Part 1.
I'm almost positive they did a part 1, like advertised as part 1.
As far as I remember, no. They only started advertising it as a part 1 after the movie premiered.
I remember them saying that it was a part 1 because I knew my reaction would have been in the theaters if I've only seen it as a part 1. and not to its completion, I would have been pissed. But I was prepared in the theaters not to see the full story, so I knew ahead of time. So somehow I found out it was only part one.
Yeah, but they didn't advertise it. If you look at the movie posters and all that, it was not advertised.
True, they didn't advertise that.
They'd also advertised Zendaya, and everyone was pissed about that.
Right, because she just pops up.
Oh, they milked that cow.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
boy, they did.
Wow.
How do you think this movie managed being a part one?
I think it sets up perfectly. I think there's a good, even if it never happened, right? Say we don't ever get a part two. I think if it's like 6 years, 7 years down the road, something like that, if we don't get it like in a couple years, I think it's fine the way it is, and you can pick it up whenever. That's how well done I think it is.
I agree with Megs.
I mean, I agree with you. I would say if they didn't do a sequel to this and it just ends with the submarine is out there and the entity hasn't been defeated, then it's a little abrupt. But I know that they're like in the sequel, if they didn't call this Dead Reckoning Part 1, if there was Dead Reckoning and the next one was called Earth Pistol, I don't know. Then it's like, okay, we would know it's a Part 1 and Part 2, even if it isn't listed there because of the story that needs to take place in the second one, right?
I want to know in your head where Earth Pistol came from.
So my background is the Earth.
Okay.
And then I was trying to find just a second word, and I was trying to find an action word.
You're out here making like porno names now. Like, I don't
Earth
know
Pistol.
what you just gave. Like, it was just like, in case they just randomly name it Stuffed Kiwi. I don't know. Like, whatever. Like,
Stuffed Kiwi is a New Zealand porn production company.
There you go.
Shut up.
No,
Really?
No, I'm joking. Stuffed Kiwi. Well, you know.
I mean, that does make sense because the Kiwi.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good. And like I said, like the way they do it, and I agree with you. It does have to have a sequel at some point. But there's no rush on it. It's not like Spider-Man where it was just like, well, you're not leaving me like this. Or Fast and Furious where we know we're getting at least 6 more movies when at some point one of them will actually key into this one. Yeah. So I think it's fine. And this, honestly, even if it was 5 years and then we finally got one, I think it would still taste just as good if we got it in 3 years or 5 years.
We are luckily getting it. We're getting in less than 1 year. June 28th, 2024.
At least, I mean, the thing about this is that there wasn't a sense of urgency at the end. Like in a lot of cliffhanger movies where there's a part 1, part 2, there's that cliffhanger and you're like, I need to know what happens next. So this one on its own works on its own. We can wait a couple years for the next one.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, I said that it's June 28th, 2024, but who knows how. Did they finish filming it?
Nope.
Okay, so then never mind. It was supposed to be filmed. It was supposed to be filmed back to back, and then in March 24. Oh no! They started filming it in 2022, March 2022.
Mm-hmm. For what I know, it's not finished.
So everything's getting pushed back because of
filming was suspended. That thing. Filming was just suspended.
Yeah.
Due to the strike. Yeah.
But I'm not sitting there clamoring like, oh my God, like why? Oh, like I need this. Like, and the other thing is like you were talking about with Spider-Man, right? Everyone's like, what do you mean we're not getting this for another 5 years or whatever? Like that's BS. Like they've been working on it this whole time. And it's like, that's fine. They can do the animation all they want or whatever they were working on. But like people forget, like it took Haley Steinfeld 4 years to finish her voice lines just for this movie. And if she says she hasn't done anything yet, like she still has other obligations whenever they happen again. But like
4 years just to do the voice?
That doesn't.
Yeah.
Why did that happen?
Wow.
Just because of filming of other things and doing stuff. And remember, she's been doing the Marvel thing and stuff. So like,
yeah,
production, post-production, all that kind of stuff. And it just wasn't contractually where it had to happen. So like she would do some Hawkeye stuff and then she'd go, do a couple voice things for this and like fit it into where it worked.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, everything's going to be delayed. So who's to say? Luckily, I haven't planned my Keeg schedule for 2024 yet, so that'll be up in the air.
Keeg on vacation.
Yeah, that's my thing. I haven't taken enough vacations yet, so
there you go.
Yeah,
who knows?
Keeg goes Earth Pistol.
Earth Pistol.
I was
yes. Maybe I go to New Zealand and produce stuffed kiwi. In my off time. We can only dream. So who knows when we're getting this part 1 and part 2? But yeah, I agree. I don't think this didn't end abruptly.
So since we're kind of dabbling about the strike,
yeah,
this affects Comic-Con in the sense that the celebrities that were supposed to show up at Comic-Con will not be showing up at Comic-Con.
If those celebrities are represented as actors, then they definitely won't. Like if they're going there
well,
as
like
an actor.
Chris Evans and oh my god, Obi-Wan.
Ewan McGregor?
Ewan McGregor, yeah.
Yeah, unless they're a director, because Directors Guild isn't on strike, and they could choose not to show up out of solidarity, unless they're contractually obligated by the Directors Guild to show up as a director, then it's a little different.
Chris won't show, so.
Okay. Oh, are you just lamenting?
I don't know. Did he say yet? Did he say? Because like New York Comic Con, I'm still getting emails of like, hey, get your photo ops, get your photo ops, get your photo ops.
That's true. If they're not contractually obligated through their production, then they could be there as actors.
If they do autographs or
as an independent, right?
Yeah, they can do that from what I've, and like I said, and whatever is whatever, and everyone's who's listening, whatever. Yeah. We don't know. The rules change daily. We have no idea of anything. This is just what we've kind of read and what we've kind of heard. We don't know
TBD.
Shit. Yeah.
TBD.
Yeah. San Diego is next week, and so we shall see. I'll let you know. I'm going to be there for the 4 days, and so we shall see how it changes things and kind of what.
Boy, it's really going back to the OG though, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's all about comics.
Some people are like, yeah, that's the way it should be. I don't agree with that. I'm all for everybody being able to be a part of Comic-Con. Because it all changed when Twilight came to Comic-Con. Twilight coming to Comic-Con changed everything, and it made Comic-Con about entertainment media in general. Twilight changed it, and it brought a different demographic to Comic-Con that had never been there. I'm not sad about that. That's great, because I believe that you come to Comic-Con for Twilight, you end up brushing shoulders with comic book people, maybe you start liking comics. Or vice versa. I mean, people there for comics were like, oh, what's this Twilight thing? Maybe they become fans. And I think it's great for entertainment as a whole. Because there's no zero-sum sort of thing. Like, you don't leave comics for Twilight or the other way around. You pick up both.
Right.
And you become a bigger geek. And I think it's better for the community. I also think it's better for the community when we diversify our demographics on who's showing up to these cons. Because, I'll be honest, I don't want to go back to the old Comic-Con stuff. I need the diversity. I need the diversity in entertainment and the people who are showing up.
There's only so many days I can walk around and see the same mom and pop store pushing, peddling me a comic.
Yeah. And it's like, and the people that go there, I don't want it to be this hipster, exclusive thing.
I have noticed it's become more of an anime con as well. Like, you know what I mean? Because like some of them have their own things now with like D23 and things like that, whatever. It's very heavy anime now, which again,
it sells. Fine. It's like Barnes and Noble.
Oh, it sells.
Barnes and Noble has an American graphic novel section, comic book section, and then they have an even bigger manga section. And although as someone who really isn't into manga, I'm like, I wish the comic book selection is bigger. It is what it is. If it sells, it sells. If manga needs to have 3 rows as opposed to comics 1 row, then it is what it is. And hopefully people spread out and kind of try new things there. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'll let you guys know how San Diego goes. None of you guys aren't going, right? You guys are East Coast.
I was, but it fell through.
Okay, that's fair. I am going to the Hellfire Gala, so
Dope.
Yeah.
What are you wearing?
My friend Miss Marauder is making me an outfit from scratch.
Amazing.
So she is the way I sum up my outfit is hoey and flowy, because it's the Hellfire Gala. You got to go hoey and flowy.
There you go.
So you're just wearing something flowy, because usually you're very hoey.
I'm gonna take my internal to make external my aesthetic. We'll see how that goes. With what was I saying? With this movie, are there any other like big points of exclamation when it comes to this movie? Because I feel like this was a very dense movie. I was trying to wait. I was waiting for a bathroom break. I was like, at what point can I go to the bathroom? I ended up staying the whole movie. But like, I tried to find a spot to go to the bathroom. I couldn't.
I think they don't talk enough about like why he's punishing him and things like that, because of like him taking his almost the first love before the first movie. This is the guy that is the villain now, technically, not the AI, but the other person. He killed the woman he loved. And then he thought he killed him, hence he was going to go to jail. And that's when the what's the name of the organization?
Impossible Mission. What?
No. What is it? MI5 or M5? Whatever.
MI6.
MI6.
Not MI6. It's some whatever. Anyways, so IMF. That's it.
IMF.
Yeah. So like they're supposed like that was his decision. Was they were like, hey, you have skills. This is what we want you to do. Blah blah blah. And now that guy's back, and like, there's not enough. I think there's not a, because in Fallout you got that feeling of like, damn, like his ex-wife, who in a previous movie he wanted to just have a normal life and he couldn't have it, and they took his wife, and that's why they separated. And you felt that Fallout. You felt he loved Elsa, but also still loves his ex-wife, but because they can't be together, that's what it was. This, I feel nothing about that other woman.
Of him. I wasn't sure. Have they showed that ever before, or is this new information?
No, the new.
Well, because the CGI de-aging on Isai, is it Isai Morales?
Yeah.
Was really good. It looked like he was young. So I got confused a little bit on that black and white sequence of.
No, that was
filmed this in the past.
That was there because like there's blue screen in the background and all that stuff and everything. It's all then.
Yeah.
Building on your point too, in terms of like there wasn't a backstory established, so there was no emotional connection to the character. The same way I felt about Haley Atwell's character. Like, what you loved Ilsa, and I get why you love Ilsa. You've been with her for a couple of movies now. Your love has grown for her. But then this new girl comes in. You barely even know her. Instantly, I'm like, why do you have feelings for her already? Like,
I mean, speaking of hoey and flowy.
Yeah, why was it so hard for you to choose between Ilsa and, I forgot the character's name.
Haley's?
Haley's, yeah.
Hold on. I forget it too, and it's a normal.
First of all, Ilsa Faust is
Grace.
an incredible name.
Yeah, Grace.
Great name. Oh yeah, like, you've been with Ilsa for a while, and you've just met Grace. How can you not choose between Ilsa and Grace?
I don't think he wanted anyone to die, right? His whole point is protecting his whole team, right?
But she was not part of the team. Grace isn't part of the team.
But he
honestly, at a certain point, I would have just let her happen. How annoying she was. I'd be like, look, I'm trying to save you repeatedly. Why are you being a pain in my ass?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, if you want to die, go out on your own. Okay.
Yeah, like, look, I'm on shooter. Go for it. I'm whatever at this point.
He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that, though.
I know,
also, funny, in the sand, when the woman who was leading the Raiders into the sand, remember when she got shot and he saw her in the corner, but he didn't look at her? Like the dead leader. In the one I saw, he doesn't look. He literally just goes. He's just turning, looking for Elsa, and just 2 bullets in the chest to make sure she's dead.
Oh,
sir.
Give me what? I'll be right back. I have to take a call.
All right, sounds good. So how much else was different? With
little things like that and stuff like that, and CG and things like. Other than that, for the most part, it was all the same. It was just all CGI stuff. That was it.
Okay.
which wasn't a lot in the movie to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's because he does, practical stuff and whatnot.
Practical stuff. And Palm is so excited about that.
I love Palm.
Adore Palm. I got to talk to her a little bit actually back
That's cool.
in November, December. When did the Guardians holiday special come out? November?
Yeah,
I want to say November.
Yeah.
So I got to talk to her and Sean for a couple minutes, but yeah, it was she's awesome.
That's cool. Palm needs more roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, Palm needs way more
from
roles.
this gonna happen.
And it's funny because it's totally different than Mantis, right? So we're showing range on Palm. Have you seen the video she makes? Because a lot of the actors are in like a fantasy football or something league, and she did a video on the set of Mission Impossible, where she wrote like a French song to sing at Chris Hemsworth, right? I think it was Chris Hemsworth, and it's a diss track against Chris Hemsworth, but not a rap. It's like this like French whatever. I don't know how to Megs, you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah. Simon Pegg directed it.
Yeah, she's hysterical. Yeah. I mean, like the other funny thing about this is like we're sitting here like, oh, she needs more roles. You know she's been in 44 movies already.
But are they foreign?
Yeah, they're foreign. A good bit of them are.
I don't want to discount foreign movies, but
I agree.
Reach, I haven't watched it, and having her be more of a globally recognized.
She also was a voice actor in Layla. She voice acted Lila and Kyla from The Addams Family in 2019. She was in Uncut Gems. She was in an episode of Black Mirror.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got here. A lot of it is foreign.
Yeah. Because she's what?
Yeah,
Swedish?
tons of it is foreign.
Norwegian?
I want to say it's that. You got are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you turn and go to type.
French actress.
Yes.
She was born in Quebec, Canada, to a Korean mother and a Russian French father.
Yes.
Clemente would be whatever, Russian or French, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I didn't know. All right. What were we saying? She is the highlight, but you guys didn't like Haley?
I don't not like Haley. It's here's my thing, right?
Not like Haley.
It's paprika. Like I enjoy seeing it. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't give me anything.
Okay.
It's real pretty.
Okay.
Yes. So like, it's okay.
Okay.
Again, interested to see what happens in the next movie. Oh, that's the other one that changed. Because you asked me about it, and I'm glad JT's back. When they asked her to play the widow, and before they go to the train, she is so guilt-stricken from what has happened because she feels responsible for Elsa's death. She actually poisons all of them to fall asleep, and she leaves without any of them knowing.
Okay.
Like they all fall asleep, and she leaves and does this mission by herself. Which I thought was way better than what they gave us also of the, they had the conversation, what's happening, like, this is what we're going to do. And then they're like, okay, let's do it, team. I like she's still trying, because even when she is widow, she's still trying to decide, am I really going to trust Ethan? Do I really have faith in him? Like, I don't know if he's really going to be here for me or not. I feel horrible what happened. I don't want anyone else to die. I'm going to do this on my own. That's what I got from that. What I got from in the movie was not that.
Yeah, that's a whole different motivation thing. They didn't do reshoots, right? Is it just they filmed two?
No, I mean they did some. I mean, obviously that would have been a reshoot
at that moment.
No, it would have been had some kind of reshoot at some point of like, we just don't like how this is. Let's just 1, 2, 3, whoa, Bundy.
To do the mask
like next day or something. Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, like I said, it was literally the first time they'd ever shown it on a cinema screen. That was the first one they did, was here.
Yeah.
And that's what I got. Did they do shoots afterwards? I don't know. They might have had extra stuff. I have no idea what they did. They don't really tell me. They just go, hey, whatever this. Oh, like the Jennifer Lawrence movie, the new one, the No Hard Feelings? Same thing. I saw that literally, I think, the next day. I almost got to see Barbie, but I ended up being sick. I almost saw Barbie 5 months ago, which I'd have been so happy.
The one thing I really do love about this movie is that all the women, number one in this movie, were all pretty badass.
Yeah.
Even the widow who does nothing.
I like her, by the way.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love Vanessa Kirby.
What did she do in the previous movie? Because I know she was in the previous
Same thing.
movie. She's
Same
just
thing. She was
an
a
information
dealer.
broker? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was she... I mean, did she do anything of note, though? Like, other than just be kind of...
She was selling something. She didn't have a fight scene. She was actually... So, Fallout, she's the one selling the goods that they're trying to get. She had like a semi-fight scene in the...
She stabbed someone at the bar.
In the VIP area. That's really about it.
Okay.
But like other than that, it's just her acting and stuff like that was really good. So yeah, I enjoy her to begin with.
Which is funny because that's her, even though in our minds Haley Atwell is disguised as her, but in real life it's Vanessa Kirby playing a different version of herself.
Right.
But when you edit it and you make a film well enough, in your head when you're watching, you're like, it's Haley Atwell in disguise. And you never let go of that if it's good enough. But obviously, like
her acting was so good that I really did believe that was Haley Atwell underneath a mask.
How weird is that? That's super weird, right?
Yeah.
You almost have to like spend time.
I forget it's you.
Yeah, you have to like spend time with somebody to like get their quirks and like how they do things or whatever. And like it's very interesting. Yeah. What was I say? Like to give a point of like how good of an actress. Have you seen her in The Crown?
No. Who did she play?
Queen Elizabeth's sister. She's fantastic. Oh my god.
I heard she was fantastic.
Disgustingly good. It's one of those like you see it and you're like, oh, I hate you.
It's funny you guys say fantastic because the rumor is that like, and it's just a rumor, it's not founded, is that she could be Invisible Woman, Sue Storm.
That would be good. I mean, she was my pick. Like, I did a fan cast of Emma Frost, and she was my pick for Emma Frost.
Yeah, I can see that. Very similar to this character, cold, calculating.
Yeah.
Don't forget though.
Bougie.
Oh.
She's in Fast and Furious. Hobbs and Shaw. She plays Shaw's sister. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
throwing it out there.
I loved her in that movie.
Yeah, that's a different.
And it's not even.
Too.
Like, and it's not even like her and Jason Statham that I like. Her and Dwayne's chemistry together. Love.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
So I have to watch it again.
And I think. Go ahead.
No. You go because
I was gonna say I think because don't forget now Dwayne's back for whatever Hobbs is gonna do and apparently it picks up right where he makes the phone call with Jason Momoa. That'll be the next movie. I think that's where we see her come back to play the sister in the franchise.
Right. She's coming back. Yes.
I don't know. She didn't say she was or wasn't, but like they're trying to keep a lot of things
on
wraps.
She came back and Gal Gadot came back also.
Well, Gal Gadot is back.
Gal is back.
You missed that?
I guess I
she
did.
pops out.
She's
of the
in the sub at the very end.
Yes, now I remember. Yes, she does pop out of the screen.
But that's the other thing. So Brie was asked about making more Fast movies, and she's like, "I love this. I actually want to do an all-female one." And the rumor is one of those 5 movies they're doing for the finale stuff is an all-female one, and that possibly could be. You shake your head all you want.
No, I'm not shaking my head at the female thing. It's the 5.
No.
Movies,
I know the Fast and Furious, not the female one.
I meant crossover to end it. Yeah.
Well, no. The rumor is that this is. Remember, they said they want this a 3-parter. That's what Vince said on the carpet.
Yeah.
What if that's a studio wanting it, not him, but you know him. What if that middle one, instead of it being the finale they were going to do, was the women trying to. Because now, like, don't forget, you've got Charlize Theron, what's her name, and Gal together, and then the other girls were together. So, like, I'm just saying, you can make a movie where the guys aren't even in it because the guys just went down on the plane.
Yeah.
Dom's busy, at SeaWorld right now. Like, what's happening?
Where's
and
Letty
here's
though? Isn't Letty on the plane or no?
Letty. Yeah, no, Letty's with Charlize Theron. Michelle's
yeah,
with
right.
Charlize and Cal.
Yeah.
Oh no, but Ramsey
was in the plane. That was it. But like, you can leave her out.
She'd be good.
I would hate to leave her out.
Yeah.
But like, I agree. But like, scenario wise, Bree is by herself. She sent Gal. She sent Gal to go get them.
Yeah.
And it's Gal, Bree, Michelle, and Charlize.
I mean, I'm all for it.
That would be so dope.
Yeah.
I know. I'm JT. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Opening night. I'm there with you.
It's a date.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me twice.
I think it's funny that everybody's back for this ending of Fast. Is
Except
Mission Impossible gonna do
Still waiting for Brian.
Like who's missing out of Mission Impossible that have been in past movies that like Paula Patton and Jeremy Renner?
That's the one that I'm waiting for. Is where's Jeremy Renner in this?
Well, and Paula Patton, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna sit there and pick
Patton,
a name,
yeah,
Paula was great in
Ghost Protocol.
Mm.
Yeah, but I forget even what she does in Ghost Protocol, but I just remember
her out of the window,
being in awe.
Kicks her out of the window.
Yeah, but like, what's her character? I don't even remember. Is she part of the IMF? No, right?
No, she's with Jeremy, if I remember right.
Yeah,
and they're trying to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing.
I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to pull it. Hold on.
I guess unless you guys actually had like more stuff about the movie itself. How'd you guys feel about the entity?
Oh, I think it's spot on.
It's so spot on, especially with this whole AI situation going on.
Yeah.
It is like you made this movie ahead of its time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say what it reminds me of, but then that person with the name is going to start talking to me and ask me what I want, and I'm going to have to yell at them to turn off.
Oh, yeah.
But like, that's literally what it is.
Yeah. It's funny. It opens up, and I'm seeing the movie. I was seeing the movie with Jay Likes Comics. He's my roommate, and so we saw it, and I turned to him, and I'm like, AI and a sub. Like, it's just they're going through the news of now, and they did it like 3 years ago. The sub and the AI. They're just.
How do you put the sub two together?
The sub.
This is literally Hunt for Red October if they had an Alexa in it.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Are they gonna? Is it?
I said it's soft. I said it's soft enough.
Like, but they did it years ago. I was like, oh, that's fair. But yeah, the entity being an AI sort of manifestation, is it too much? Is this the wildest we've gotten from Mission Impossible? I know it makes sense, but it's almost...
No, I love it.
Yeah?
It's almost similar to Bond's GoldenEye.
What happens in GoldenEye?
Because that wasn't... It was an AI also.
Yeah.
An AI that took over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
What a great game. God. Now you're making me think of the video game, Jay.
There's no Mission Impossible game, right?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
When is she gonna show up?
I've actually had a lot of so
she's joining Fast X.
I don't play. Do not play. No, because like I've had this conversation with like a developer, like a game developer and stuff like that, of taking like the Jack Ryan infrastructure basically and doing it where in the world is Carmen Sandiego kind of thing, where like you kind of get a clue of something happening but it's all butterfly affected to where like whatever threads you pull, that's how the AI moves, of like you trying to stop something happening or finding the bad guy. So yeah.
Oh.
I think it'd be fantastic.
Well, wait, since we've been speaking a lot about Jack Ryan, have you guys watched the Prime
Yeah, the
Video
show.
Jack Ryan series?
Other
Yeah.
than the new season, I'm waiting for my dad to come back before. But we've watched every season up until this new season.
Keeg, let me help you. It was
So
only 3 weeks, 6 episodes. They did 2 episodes every week.
Oh, so it's over?
done.
Oh,
Out.
okay. I
And
just have
it's
to wait for him to come
fantastic.
back. I can't watch it without him. So,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
but I've watched the other 3 seasons. Or this is the 4th season that just came out, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I watched the
Fourth
other
season,
3 seasons. One of them was
And
boring.
speaking
I forget
about-
which one.
And since we're also on the topic of AI, have you watched Class of '09
Hate it.
on Hulu?
I heard bad things about it. Isn't that good?
Oh, you hated it?
Hate it.
Really?
I got like 4 or 5 episodes in, something like that, and I'm just like, ugh.
It's 3 moments in time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
Past,
the
present,
concept.
future. It felt a little bit like a Minority Report.
That's why I hated it. It literally was Minority Report, but the Wish version.
Oh, wait, is there precogs?
Oh, the
It was
Wish
like
version.
AI.
Ooh.
Does it have to do with that? Like an AI telling if crimes exist in the future kind of thing?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys remember the
they
Minority
prevent-
Report show?
Oh yeah.
There was a Minority Report show that was a sequel.
Yeah.
Technically a
That I remember.
sequel to. I remember watching
To the
that.
Minority Report, but it was like that Minority Report show came out not long ago, like within the 2000s.
Within the 2000s, yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been
not 2020s, but like 2000,
13,
like
maybe?
yeah, 13, 14. I'm in that area. Yeah, I'm with you. Like the
Around-
12 to 14.
Around the same time, Being Human. No, not Being Human. Almost Human. Was that
Yeah, Almost Human.
Yeah. Yeah, Being Human was a different thing. I love that show. Separate. As we're talking about Mission Impossible and as we're closing this up, what's the future hold? We kind of touched on it in the beginning. What's the future hold? If I didn't know Tom Cruise, I would say that like Tom Cruise was gonna wrap things up, but the Mission Impossible franchise could continue with these new characters. Is that not something you guys see?
Mission Impossible doesn't happen without him, and he 100% is trying to make that happen.
I mean, it does hinge on like him doing those stunts, like it, right?
He is Mission Impossible, and he has to do those stunts.
Would you guys not watch it if, like,
Oh, no,
regardless
watch
of whether Tom Cruise would let go of it or not?
If-
Would you guys be interested in it if it wasn't for Tom Cruise? If he stepped out?
It depends on how the mantle is passed on. So, for example, I used to love 24. Could not get enough of 24. Season ended, and they tried to reboot it with 24 something.
With 24
The
Legacy.
mantle was 24 Legacy. The mantle wasn't passed off properly. It just felt hollow, and it just didn't work. If they did the same thing with Mission Impossible, would die without a good handoff.
Yeah. Kind of like Scrubs, the final season that nobody wants to talk about. It was a new class. That's the whole
I remember.
thing about like that final season.
It's like Grey's
ended,
Anatomy.
And they did a new class. Yeah.
Well, look at like the one show that's being done by the Russo brothers. What's the name of that movie? The show just came out. They were doing
Extraction? What? Oh no.
No.
Show?
That's gonna bother me. Yep. Hold on. It was huge. It's like the Citadel. So Citadel, decent show, enjoyed it, and then they announced there was a second show, but a second season, but it had nothing to do with them. It was in another country with other people with a different story, and it's all webbed.
Okay.
They're gonna at some point bring everything together, kind of. They're
Everybody
making a
wants
universe.
Their franchise. Everybody wants their franchise.
Well, like the director of obviously Euphoria, but what's that show that everyone hated that they just did with The Weeknd? Idol.
Oh.
He comes out and is like, just want to let everybody know, Idol's in the same universe as Euphoria.
Does
Nobody
that matter?
cares.
Because it's about a high school, right? Like that's about a high
Nobody
school. That's about
cares.
like, why would they? I mean, that's like the
Yeah,
movie
no one
Titanic. The movie Titanic is in the same universe as the movie Saving Private Ryan.
You could say the same as like Titanic is in the same universe as Downton Abbey.
Right.
Like, nobody really cares.
As The Last Samurai. All these historical fiction, all the
Yeah.
historical fiction movies, they're all in the same universe, you know?
Yeah, I just whatever. It's like that's what gets a little much to me. But like, I
Yeah.
didn't mind it. I enjoyed Citadel. I'm intrigued to see how this does. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely. Oh, I can't wait for you to watch that final season of Jack Ryan.
Okay.
So good.
If it's only
So
6
good,
episodes,
so
that's pretty
good.
good. I still gotta watch. I still gotta wait for my dad to come back. But like, you know.
I tried hanging on last night to finish episode 6. I fell asleep.
Jack
I was
Ryan?
hanging on until Jack Ryan.
The new season.
But I was hanging. It was
Okay.
2 a.m. and I was hanging on. I had taken my sleeping pill. I'm like, why did I take my sleeping pill now? I'm falling asleep. Just hang on.
uh, 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 it just reminds me of spy shows in general, of like the ticking countdown clock, but the countdown clock is you falling asleep.
Yes.
Like he just randomly hears like in the background,
Yeah.
like the thing. Yeah. It's like Vecna's coming. He's like, "What's going on? Where am I?"
Do we know for certain? I mean, we know there's gonna be a part 2 of this movie, but do we know if there's movies after this? Whether he's just gonna keep continuing to make them?
Yeah, he's gonna keep continuing.
Okay.
He wants to be as old as Harrison Ford.
But at some point, he's going to. I mean, he broke his ankle in the last one.
I think broke is an understatement.
You see
He
it,
shattered.
Right? They checked.
Shattered his
they
ankle.
The shot.
Yeah.
JT, you know this? You know what we're talking about?
So when he's running
in Fallout,
yeah, when he's running on the top of the airport and he jumps across from one side to the other, and he lands like on the side and he pulls himself up and kind of like hobbles away. That shot, he actually jumped and he came up short and put his leg out. When he put his leg out, his foot hit first and shattered his ankle.
You can see it. They kept the shot.
And he got up and still ran on a shattered ankle.
In this last movie.
In Fallout, right? Yeah, the one before.
In Fallout.
Yeah. Okay, yes. You
can see it in the trailer. You can, like, that's that shot.
Now I'm going to watch the whole movie again.
I don't know how he does it, but it's only a matter of time until he goes one step too far. Or not even one step too far, his age catches up with him. Because I'm seeing it right now. Like, in the movie, they do some movie magic and they make him, not look as old. But there was that intro in the theater where it's like, thank you for coming to the movies. And I'm
yes.
Ooh,
he looks rough.
He looks rough. Yeah. Also, this movie was 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, they did some movie magic on him. Yeah. There's no way he aged that fast.
I mean, some of his age were great.
What's that?
Some of us age great, right, Jay? Tell him. Some of us just age great.
True. Very true.
I mean, look at JT over there. Jesus.
I don't know. I think, but JT, don't be doing those stunts. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm not be doing those stunts.
Don't break the ankle. Don't fly on a wing of a plane.
No, but I already reconstructed my knee too many times.
Oh, too many stunts. That's fair.
Way too many.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't see this continuing without Tom Cruise. And at that point, you might as well just end the franchise and start a new spy franchise, because it doesn't... Well, kind of like how I feel about Indiana Jones. I don't think anyone else should take Indiana Jones. Like, if you want to explore the world of Indiana Jones with some other characters, yeah. But I don't need an Indiana Jones reboot.
No.
I mean, they tried that with Shia LaBeouf, right? Like,
kind of.
And then they were like, "Oh, we had to off him," and this is the story.
It's so wild, but yeah, I think Indiana Jones is Harrison Ford. Ethan Hunt is Tom Cruise. Can't really get around that, and it is what it is. Do you guys have any hopes of the future before we get going when it comes to Mission Impossible? Hopes or dreams?
No, I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah. You know who I think would be a really good villain at one point? Mm-hmm. Alexander Skarsgård.
He's always a great villain, though.
Yeah. I like Alexander Skarsgård better than Bill Skarsgård, only because you expect Bill Skarsgård to be more menacing because he's weirder looking. But
I like the movie. What was the movie he was just in?
Oh.
No.
John Wick.
No. Not, well, yes, John Wick. No. The horror movie. The horror movie with the baby bottle.
I don't do horror movies.
Yeah, I don't do horror
Keeg,
movies.
I know you know what I'm talking about. It was a red barbarian.
Oh, see, I didn't see it.
So the beginning of Barbarian. So in the beginning of Barbarian, the girl comes to an Airbnb, but he's there at the Airbnb, and she's creeped out and like thinks he's and they're setting it up to make you think like he's the killer. Really, he was just a nice guy. It's like it's the we think this person's bad because have you seen him?
Yeah,
and it's really he's not.
That's why Alexander Skarsgård is my pick for Lex Luthor. Something that me and a friend were talking about is that Lex Luthor should be handsome.
Yeah, I like Bill.
Yeah. It's disconcerting, or like when it's Eisenberg, you want to hate him. If it's Bill Skarsgård, you're gonna want to hate him. But he needs to have pretty privilege, Lex Luthor.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
yes. I agree.
Not just rich privilege. It's pretty privilege, like
pretty privilege. Yes.
To the point where he could be on Times Square and shoot someone, and
I mean, look at him in Succession, right? Like,
one of my friends proposed, like, because you know how like the Authority's supposed to be in Superman Legacy or Legend.
Legacy, yeah.
And Legacy, and so you're gonna have to bring in Midnighter and Apollo.
Mm.
One of my friends posed Apollo be Alan Richardson.
Oh, Alan, yeah, Richardson, yeah. I mean, he's huge.
Reacher.
Yeah,
he's huge. So I'm like, you can't do that because that means David Cornsett would really have to bulk up to get to that size.
I mean, it is nice. I mean, I don't want to go too far into the Authority. It is nice to show that like what makes Superman special isn't his powers, it's his person,
True.
Right? So by having another character like Apollo, who is a good character, be there with roughly the same power set, very similar power set, to show how different these characters are. I wish the best for Alan Richardson, because Alan Richardson is in Fast X.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still huge. He still has that Reacher. Yep. Whatever he did for Reacher, I'm worried, but he got huge for Reacher.
Yeah,
like
massive.
Yeah,
massive.
I don't know who's bigger, him or The Rock. Like, I know The Rock probably, but who's taller?
Rock.
But
Rock's pretty tall.
Okay. I've only seen the top of Rock's head in person, so he's tall enough for that. The crowd swarmed him, and it was just the top of his head that I saw, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get close. That's fine. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on the show, taking time out of your day to be here to talk about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. By the way, the title is so long. They could have, like, if it was Fallout Part 1, it was a short title, then a Part 1, I would have been like, okay. Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's a lot. A lot of colons, a lot of subtitles, and then the parts. But thank you guys so much for being here to talk about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
This was fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah. You guys are both great. Thank you to anybody out there who is watching and or listening. Before we get going, Megs, tell us where we can find you. What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
I'm on Vine, MySpace, AOL chat rooms. No. So JT's shadow just flashed before his eyes. He was like, wait. It was like, Anne Frank, what? What's going on? What is happening? By the way, did you see they made Anne Frank Crocs? Man, those are fantastic.
Anne Frank Crocs?
Or not Anne Frank.
Lisa Frank.
Lisa Frank. Sorry.
Anne Frank.
So Anne Frank was the haha funny joke about that. Somebody said,
okay.
Because like that was the joke. That's why I was thinking of it. In my head, I knew what I was talking about. But then like I said the punchline. Somebody actually was like, oh my God, I thought it was Anne Frank, not Lisa Frank. And they were like,
Anne Frank, they did an Anne Frank thing in the new season of Dave with Lil Dicky. They did like an Anne Frank episode. I thought was like super good. Anyway.
No, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, normal things, the official Megs, all of them.
Awesome. You got anything big coming up?
Nothing I can talk about.
Yeah, anything you want to talk about? Okay, cool.
All nope.
All right. You got the NDAs. All right.
Yep.
I like the idea of just saying NDA for anything when anyone asks you something like too personal or whatever.
Oh no, I'll just
Like,
tell you I don't want to talk about it because I just don't know yet, or I'll say
yeah.
NDA. My answer, NDA. One is NDA. One is I just don't want to talk about it.
Right. If people from now on, I think if people say, Dimithri, how old are you? And I'll be like, NDA. Sorry, I signed an NDA. You know, can't talk about it.
Or you can be like, listen, I'm like lasagna. I'm like the G, move in silence.
Yeah. I have layers. There's many things that I have in common with lasagna. JT, where can we find you online? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
You can find me on TikTok or Instagram, but Instagram's just really just personal stuff, just crap, and nothing going on.
Where can we find you on Instagram or not on Instagram? On like what's your usernames and stuff?
Oh, on TikTok it's entertain me and you.
Okay, cool. I like the change. I'm surprised. Like sometimes I'm surprised how things haven't already been taken. Like entertain me and you. I feel like somebody would have taken it, but now you took it, and that's good.
My baby now.
For anyone out there watching and or listening, you're watching us live at twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Or maybe you were listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. We are also on social media. TikTok and Instagram are our two biggest ones, at The Keeg Show. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Threads now. We're on Threads at The Keeg Show or /.
Is anybody still on Threads?
People are still. I'm posting there. Twitter's in a downward spiral. It is. You know, I don't know whether it's coming back from it. You know, maybe it's not Threads. Maybe there's another app that'll come out that'll take the people. But you know,
we'll see.
We'll see. Threads needs to get their hashtag stuff in order because that's my biggest concern. Is we need to be able to link what we're paying attention to and find new things.
Yeah.
But you can find us at The Keeg Show or /The Keeg Show anywhere on social media. So definitely follow us there. If you want to give back to the show, because we do multiple shows here at The Keeg, you can find us on patreon.com/The Keeg Show. Find a donation tier that works for you. We do a couple of shows here. The Keeg Talks is every weekend. We also do Comic Talk every Thursdays where we talk about that week's new comic book releases. And then we are doing the Secret Invasion after show, and there's 2 episodes left, and that is Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Pacific. So we got a bunch of different shows. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok to stay tuned with everything that we're up to.
Keeg, let me put this little nugget in your head before we leave. What if they use the machine to make the Fantastic Four?
If they used a machine?
From Secret Invasion.
Oh no. I don't want them to do that.
I don't either, but it's kind of right there. You know how they love doing easy things.
No.
It's a very disgusting case. I agree.
But do we really need another origin story?
Well, they're not doing an origin story. They've said they won't. They're not doing one.
Good. I want Fantastic Four. I want the Fantastic Four to go against the Skrull Empire. I don't think Secret Invasion is going to wrap everything up. So I would like, if you want to show the Fantastic Four in a new direction than what has been seen in
Skrull
other
Empire
movies, send them to space. We've never seen them in space dealing with space stuff, but they are a very space-based team, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been talking about that and more on the Secret Invasion After Show. And we got 2 episodes left. Next episode for Secret Invasion After Show has female Peter Parker guest starring on it, and so I'm looking forward to her. Yeah. And then the next Keeg Talks is on Monday, the 15, 16, 17, 24th. Monday the 24th, we're talking Barbie. So we're going to be talking about it because I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, and I won't be doing any shows during that time. So that Monday when we come back, it's Barbie all the way, baby. Barbie all the way. I am putting together a Ken outfit, so a lot of outfits this San Diego Comic-Con. So, definitely stay tuned for that. Other than that, yes, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Thank you to everybody out there for watching and or listening. Let us know you're out there. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, do all that sort of stuff. Let us know. because it's always nice to let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I'm your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been the Keeg Talks Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Super strong or super fast.